Hashtag your old dog slips on the floor? Fix your home today. No vet bill. You're watching your dog walk across the kitchen tile, and for the first time, you notice something different. His back legs aren't quite underneath him. He plants a paw, and it slides just a little before gripping. He's not falling. Not yet, but you can see the calculation happening the moment he realizes the floor has betrayed him. And something in your chest tightens because you know what this means. Your dog is getting older, and the home you've both lived in comfortably for years has just become a place where every step asks a question his body isn't sure how to answer anymore. Here's what most people do next. They call the vet and assume the answer is medication, or they accept the slipping as just part of aging and do nothing at all. But there is a third path, and it starts in your living room today. The truth is that one bad slip, the kind that sends your dog's legs out from under him, the moment he overcorrects and strains a muscle trying to catch himself, can accelerate a decline that was slow and manageable into something sharp and sudden. A dog who slips badly once often becomes a dog who moves less, who loses confidence, whose muscles weaken faster. That cascade is preventable. Not with a pill, with a runner rug and a few hours of your Saturday afternoon. This is what we're going to walk through together. The room-by-room safety overhaul that keeps your senior dog's feet under him, that costs less than a single vet visit for a pulled muscle, and that gives you both something you did not know you had lost until it comes back, the quiet confidence that he can move through his own home without fear. Let's start where the problem is most obvious and end where it matters most. The kitchen and dining area is where most owners first see the slipping, because tile and seal hardwood are frictionless under a dog's paw pads, especially if your dog's nails have grown long or the fine fur between his toes has gotten thick. Before you buy anything, understand what your dog is actually struggling with. If your dog is over 7 years old and you see his back legs slide out behind him when he tries to stand from a sitting position on smooth flooring, or if his rear end drifts sideways as he walks across tile, he is not weak yet. He is unbalanced. His muscles are still there. His footing is not. This is the easiest problem to solve, and you do it not by changing your dog, but by changing the floor. A non-skid runner rug, the kind made of rubber-backed material or wool with a grip underside, changes everything. Measure the path from your dog's bed to his food bowl, from the water bowl to the back door. These are the routes his feet know by heart. A runner 8 feet long and 2 to 3 feet wide in these corridors gives his nails something to grip and his paws something to compress into. Veterinarians widely agree that environmental modification, making the home easier to navigate, is the first intervention for a senior dog who is slipping on smooth surfaces. It costs between $20 and $50. It takes 30 minutes to position, and it works immediately. The moment your dog walks onto that rug, you will see the difference. His gait will lengthen. He will stop looking down at his feet. That is not placebo. That is physics. Do not forget the bathroom tile, the entryway, and the laundry room. These are the places where your dog has perhaps only passed through dozens of times. But a slip here, in a narrow space or near a corner where he cannot catch his balance easily, is more dangerous because it is unexpected. A smaller rug or even a series of yoga mats, the non-skid kind, can line these zones. Yoga mats are inexpensive, washable, and they give your dog's older paws something to grip without requiring a commitment to permanent flooring changes. Many owners buy 3 to 4 mats and rotate them through high-traffic areas, washing them weekly. Your dog's paws may be wet from the water bowl or damp from outside. A non-skid surface prevents the indoor equivalent of a fall on ice. Now, while your dog is standing on good footing, look at his feet. If you have not trimmed his nails or the fur between his toes in more than 6 weeks, you have just found a piece of the slipping puzzle you can fix immediately. A senior dog's nails grow at the same rate as a younger dog's, but the paw pads weaken with age, and long nails change the angle at which those pads contact the ground. Imagine trying to walk in high heels on a marble floor. That is what long nails do on tile. Trim them short enough that they do not click on the floor when he walks on hard surfaces, and the difference in traction is measurable. The fur between the toes is equally important. In senior dogs, this fur can become matted and thick, covering the paw pads and creating a slippery surface like a felt sole on a shoe. A groomer can trim this in 5 minutes. Or you can do it yourself with small, rounded-tip scissors. Clip the fur flush with the pad, leaving just enough for cushioning. Your dog's balance will improve noticeably. This is not vet bill. This is maintenance. What about the furniture? If your dog is over 9 years old and still jumping onto the couch or bed, he's probably doing so less frequently, and it is probably costing him something each time in pain or exhaustion that you cannot see while it's happening. A ramp solves this without asking your dog to give up the places he loves to rest. A dog ramp, especially one with a textured surface or non-skid strips, allows your dog to walk up to the couch at a shallow angle instead of launching himself up with his front legs, landing with a jar to his hips, and scrambling with his back legs. Veterinary orthopedic specialists recommend ramps and step stools as standard modifications for senior dogs, particularly those with hip dysplasia or early arthritis, conditions that are invisible to the eye but real in the joints. A ramp costs $40 to $100, depending on length and material. It lasts for years. It is one of the purchases that owners later describe as life-changing, not because it solves pain, but because it preserves independence. The same is true for the car. If your dog is 7 and 9 years old and you're still lifting him into the back seat or the cargo area, you're probably noticing that he waits longer before jumping in, or he plants his feet and hesitates. A dog ramp that leans from the bumper into the car allows him to walk in at an angle that respects his joints and does not ask him to leap upward. This is not a luxury. This is how your dog continues to go to the park, to the vet, to your daughter's house. Without a ramp, many owners find their dogs increasingly reluctant to get in the car, not because they have forgotten that the car is good, but because the physical effort has become painful. The ramp makes that invisible pain irrelevant. Now, a word about the food and water bowls, because this is where you will find conflicting advice. Some people tell you to raise your dog's bowls to chest height. Others say it does not matter. Here is what veterinarians who work with senior dogs actually say. Raised bowls can reduce strain on the neck and front legs during eating, and many older dogs seem to eat more comfortably and completely when their bowls are elevated. They are not necessary for most dogs, but for dogs over 8 years old who seem to eat slowly or who show neck or shoulder stiffness, elevated bowls are a reasonable accommodation with no downside. A simple platform or a bowl stand costing $10 to $30 might make eating less of an effort. It is not a miracle. It is an observation that your dog's body has changed and his comfort matters. The part of your home that your dog navigates at night, and this is crucial if your dog is over 10 years old, needs light. Your dog's eyes are aging. A senior dog's vision in low light diminishes faster than in daylight. The cloudiness you might notice in his eyes, called nuclear sclerosis, is common in older dogs and affects his ability to see obstacles, corners, and stairs in dim light. Motion sensor night lights in the hallway, bedroom, and especially at the top and bottom of stairs prevent your dog from bumping into furniture, misjudging a step, or losing his way. These lights cost $5 to $10 each. They turn on automatically when your dog moves through a space. For a dog who is getting up 2 or 3 times a night, these small sources of light mean the difference between safe navigation and the risk of a fall in darkness. This is one of the least expensive interventions, and it is also one of the most commonly overlooked because the danger feels distant until it becomes real. Here is the central tension we have circled around since the beginning, and here is why it matters enough to say it clearly. Your senior dog's decline does not happen on a smooth curve. It happens in steps. For weeks or months, he adjusts. He slips a little more, walks a little less, climbs onto the couch with more hesitation. These are signs that his body is changing, but they are manageable. Then, one morning, something tips. Your dog slips badly while walking across the kitchen floor. He overcorrects, strains a muscle in his back or hip, and for the next week he is painful and reluctant to move. You take him to the vet. The vet says it is muscle strain, that rest and perhaps pain medication will help, and that it may take 10 days to 2 weeks to resolve. It does resolve, but your dog has been inactive for 2 weeks, and the muscles he uses to stabilize his hips and spine have weakened further. His confidence is shaken. When the pain eases, he does not resume his old level of activity. He is more cautious now. He moves less. The muscles weaken more. The decline that was gradual becomes steep. That is the cascade we are preventing. $120 rug, placed in the right spots, eliminates the single most common moment of acute injury in senior dogs. Not a fall down the stairs, which is rare. Not a traumatic accident, which is unpredictable. The slip and overcorrect on smooth flooring while your dog is doing something as ordinary as walking to his water bowl. That moment happens hundreds of times over the life of an aging dog in a typical home. Reduce the friction of that moment, and you reduce the chance that one of those hundreds becomes the event that changes everything. This is education, not veterinary advice. If your dog shows any signs of acute lameness, inability to bear weight, or severe pain, that is a same-week vet visit, no delay. The work is small. It is something you can do this afternoon. You can measure your kitchen, order a runner rug online, trim the fur between your dog's toes while he sits beside you on the couch, and place a nightlight in the hallway. By tomorrow morning, your dog's home will be subtly different, safer, more stable, easier to navigate. You will notice it in the way he stands from a lying position, the way he walks across the tile, the confidence in his gait. He will not thank you in words, but you will see it in the decrease in the hesitations, in the slowness, in the calculation behind every step. Your dog has given you years of his life in this home. The changes you make today are how you give back, not with veterinary intervention, not with supplements or treatments, but with the simple act of acknowledging that his body has aged and making the physical world around him easier to navigate. Subscribe to the Gray Muzzle for more practical guidance